Hi guys, the Metal Maniac back again, and this is part 3 of my horror movie collection. So let's begin. First off is the original the original Frankenstein from, what was it, 1931, so it was the same year. It was released the same year as Dracula, apparently. I didn't even realize that. But, yeah, oh man, hold on. There we go. Yeah, the case, unfortunately, is sort of banged up, but, the disc is fine. But, okay, sorry, I had to make sure the case was shut. But yeah, really awesome classic. Definitely something, to have in your collection if you're a fan of, the Universal Monster movies. But yeah. And then, I have to put this back in the sleeve. I'll deal with that later. Anyway, next up is Return of the Living Dead. I'm not a huge fan of the cover art here. It used to be worse. It used to be just this. This was the cover art for a long, long time. What's on the disc? Just very bland. It's just a tombstone. But at some point they switched the cover art to this, and even though it's a little bit better, I still think it could have been a lot better. I don't know. Just not a fan of this one. But the movie itself. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the artwork, but the movie itself is really, really good. I'd say it's my favorite zombie film. Besides, trying to think, because Brain Dead. That's it. Well, Brain Dead is the name that it is in every other country. I know it was a different name here in America. Dead Alive. That's it. Dead Alive. Sorry, I had memory of the original title, but I guess they changed it for America because Dead Alive was called Brain Dead in basically every other country. But yeah, that one's a good movie too. I'd say this is my favorite, and then Brain Dead probably my second favorite in terms of zombie movies. And then you get this is the very first film to start the sort of trend of zombies not only going after particularly brains, but also like the whole I guess it gets sort of like a parody now, but like this started the whole thing of brains, that's been parodied in a lot of TV shows and stuff. But yeah, and also my favorite zombie design of all time, the Tar Man. But yeah. Alright. Next up is Army of Darkness. This is the only Evil Dead movie I own so far. And it's not even my favorite. It's actually my second favorite. My favorite Evil Dead movie is the second one. But this is the only one I own at the moment. This is actually, I guess it's referred to as the Screwhead Edition. It has a, let's see, it doesn't have a bunch of special features. It has it has the alternate ending, but then it also has a thing called creating the Deadites. There you go. That's how you pronounce it. But I don't know. It's lacking special features. Like a ton of special features, like most Blu-ray stuff releases. But the movie's good. I love the movie. I don't really mind that it doesn't have many special features because the movie is just awesome. Um, this is where the series as a whole started to go the more comedic route. Yeah, I mean it was sort of comedic to begin with. It had a bit of comedic elements starting with the second one. This movie took that even the comedic elements even further. But I know a lot of people complain about that, but I actually really like it. Um, and actually, this is my favorite depiction of Ash Williams. Yeah, he's pretty good in this. He's really good in the second one, but this is where he becomes the uh, um this is where he develops into the character we all know him as. Um, and yeah, I just really love this movie. All right, next up is the Saw franchise. I have every single movie. I have all up. This collection is the older version, which has everything up to the one before this one. So it has Saw, Saw 2, Saw 3, Saw 4, Saw 5, and Saw 6, and Saw the final chapter. And then this one's the new one, just called Jigsaw, which I really like this one as well. Um, to be honest, there's not many Saw movies that I dislike. Mm, there's only like one of them I dislike. I think it might be Saw 4, 4 or 5. I don't know. I get those two confused a lot for some reason. But yeah, it's either the fourth one or the fifth one or the fourth one. I don't know. I get them confused because I don't really watch a lot of the later ones on here that much. I usually stick to the first three. But yeah, I mean, there's not many. Like, there's only like one Saw movie that I don't like. The rest I actually really like. Um, yeah, the Jigsaw franchise, awesome. All right, next pile. First off is a classic, Jaws. I do have the DVD version, which actually has a much more awesome looking case. Like, it's the same picture, but it's very shiny. It has a metallic blue sheen to it. I really wish they would carry that sort of element over to the Blu-ray, but they didn't for some reason. This Blu-ray version has all the special features that the special edition DVD version had. Um, but yeah, it's just a really classic movie. Definitely a must-watch. I love this movie. Um, all right. Next up is Jaws 2. A very underrated one. I do love this one as well. Yeah, it's not as great as the first one, but it's still really, really good. And the last one to feature the main character, Sheriff Brody, before they stupidly uh, 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 didn't have him in the next movie, and then killed him in between the end of 3 and the beginning of 4. Um, but yeah, an actually very underrated sequel. All right, next up is Jaws 3. Now, people have the right to complain about this one. This one is very silly and nonsensical, but it's not too overdone with that. Like, yeah, it rides the fine line of being a decent horror film and then being too over the top with the goofiness. But I mean, it's one of those things that like it's bad, but it's so bad that it's good. I really enjoy watching this one, even if it's not a legitimately good horror film. Um, and something that's always kind of been odd to me is why the hell the main shark in this one is like megalodon sized. Like, seriously, like Jaws 1, regular sized shark, maybe I don't know, a foot or two bigger than most sharks. Second movie, pretty much the same size shark. Third movie, a giant megalodon sized great white. Fourth movie, goes back to normal size. Yeah, even though it's really cool that the shark is gigantic in this movie, it's very odd that it is, just because every other movie the shark is pretty much normal size, just slightly bigger. Um, but yeah. Next up is one that came out quite recently. I think it was last year. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was last year. Um, haven't watched this in a while. I don't think ever since I first got it, and that is The Meg. Um, yeah, we needed a really good shark themed horror movie, because there hasn't up to this point there hadn't been one in a long, long, long time. But The Meg is just a really, really good movie. I do think certain actors I mean, certain characters are kind of bland, but for the most part, the acting is pretty good. The special effects for the shark is really, really, really good. Yeah, it's all CGI, but it's done very, very well. Um, and yeah, just a really good movie. Next up is a very underrated one, and that is Creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah, out of all the Universal monster films, this seems to be the most looked over. Not really forgotten, but definitely looked over. Um, I don't know why. In my opinion, this is the best of the bunch. Um, and very unique too, considering that for the most part, a lot of the rest of the Universal monster movies have sort of a supernatural element to the monster itself, or the stuff surrounding it. But with this one, it's just not supernatural at all. It's just uh, um, a beast from nature. Nothing supernatural going on. And actually, this was the last movie in the classic run of the Universal monster films. Um, this was 50. Yeah, this was released in 1954 originally, same year as the first Godzilla film. And it's just an absolute masterpiece in my opinion. Um, I believe this is one of the very first horror films I watched. I watched it the first time a long, long, long time ago, before I even owned it. And I really fell in love with it. Oh yeah, and just like with the first Poltergeist movie, I had to get this as a UK import, because, again, for some bizarre reason, there's never been a Blu-ray release here in the US. Um, but yeah, underrated classic. All right, next up is sort of a not really well-known horror film, but one I absolutely love. This is one from my childhood, not my childhood, but tween years, and that is Beneath Loch Ness. I remember back a few years ago, back when there was still like a video rental place near here. Not near here, but near where I used to live. I think it wasn't Blockbuster that had this particular one. It was Hollywood Video, I think. But I remember renting this movie all the time and just absolutely loving it. Um, and I eventually, when that place went out of business, I eventually just went online and got the movie for myself. It's if you couldn't tell by the title, Beneath Loch Ness, it's a horror movie about the Loch Ness monster. And even though certain effects don't quite hold up as well as they used to, they're still not that bad. I do really like it. The action scenes are amazing. The monster design is actually really, really cool. Um, Quite a little bit more monstrous than you might think at first when you just picture the Loch Ness monster in your mind. But yeah, just a really awesome, awesome horror film. Definitely check this one out. All right, next up is another Loch Ness monster themed horror film, and that is Incident at Loch Ness. Now, this seems to be a lot more well known than Beneath Loch Ness. This is sort of, I guess you can call it a mockumentary in a way, because it is a horror film, but in the style of a documentary. Um, Basically, the story of this one is these group of people go out to film the loch in hopes on catching the Loch Ness monster, and that's technically their whole purpose of the documentary is to basically hunt down the Loch Ness monster. But things go wrong. I'm not going to spoil anything, but things do go wrong, and doesn't go well for them. But yeah, really great horror film. Alright, next up are two Roger Corman movies, and that is the So Bad It's Good movies of Dino Shark and Sharktopus. Yeah, I mean, I love cheesy horror films. I especially love the stuff that's it's so bad it's good. Out of these two films, I think Sharktopus is my favorite, just because how over the top ridiculous the overall concept is of a shark with an octopus body that can go up and walk around on land, just eating people on the beach. I mean, it's just really so far out there that it's just absolutely an absolute entertaining watch. And Dino Shark's good too. But yeah, these are really cool. Um, Alright. So that's it for part 3. I have like what? Probably at least 2 more parts to this series. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.